So about 22 days. 3 weeks, 3 weeks,
Yeah,
3 weeks. A week under a month, but we're back. Yay!
we're back and nobody's watching still.
It's episode 105, and we've got way too much shit
And just the
to
two of us to do it.
backlog, and Jeffrey is unfortunately with a dead computer, and we don't know what the fuck happened.
Remaining as special guest for the foreseeable week.
I know his computer was the second one I built the crew,
Uh,
or
uh,
maybe it was the third. I don't know if it came before or after Alex. So it's entirely possible that his is just dead. Because Alex since then
yes.
has like replaced his parts, and so have you.
Yeah.
So he's
I
got
replaced my almost entire computer.
yeah. So he's got the oldest computer out of all of us. So I'm pretty sure it's just died.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
But for whatever reason or excuse that he has, he's not here today. And so it's just Nick.
and Brandon
There we go.
and
I was wondering
episode.
if he was going to introduce himself as Eric again.
I heard the E coming in my throat and caught myself. We're here to talk about episodes 5, 6, and no, sorry, 6, 7, 8
That
of
sounds about right.
Pararanman, Decadence, and God of High School. Did you watch the episode of Pararanman this morning?
Did I watch the episode of Fire Ramon this
That
morning?
came out today.
No.
Okay, good, because I didn't either.
I had class all fucking day today.
Cool. I didn't watch it either, so we don't have to worry about that shit. Let's talk about
Yep.
Pararanman first.
Okay.
Pararanman.
Ramon.
Uh, so we continue the
Attack on
race.
Titan.
It is a Titan Titan. This opening is not as good. It's not
No.
bad.
None of these openings are good.
Nice openings.
Well, that's not true. Fire Ramon's is
Okay.
generic, if I remember correctly.
Both the Decadence and the Paranormals are like okay, like they
Yeah.
could be bad, but
One of them is above the other one. I think Fire Ramon's is slightly better, in my opinion.
I have
It's still not amazing, but like it's better. Decadence is very generic, if I remember correctly.
a Paranormal at least has like a style, a
Yeah.
different style.
A Pararamon I could pick out. Like if you played it for me later, I'd be able to say like I could pick that one out of a lineup and be like I think that's the right one.
Yeah, like I can
With
picture
Decadence,
it in my head.
it's super fucking generic. It's just like a generic.
It could fit into a fantasy show or like some weird sci-fi show or some other bullshit, and it
Yeah,
would just be the fucking same.
it's just some random rock song.
God of High School, on the other hand, it does have a style. It's
Oh,
just a shit style
oh my god.
and just a shit
I talked
song.
I talked about it before, but it's so true. The worst thing about the God of High School opening is if you miss and you stop, like if you try to skip it and you skip like not enough time, like you only skip a minute and 20, it gets worse as time goes on. So you end up listening to the worst part of the song. Oh, that song is so physically upsetting to listen to.
So I'll say this: I don't like the openings, but I actually kind of am fond of the endings of all three shows. They're all kind of nice and chill. They're not super
I
standout.
don't actually listen to the endings.
I listen to some of them. I listen to all of it. Some of them I'll like sometimes skip. I usually listen to the ending. It like if it's the last of like the series. So like for Decadence, I kept skipping them until I got to the last episode where I actually watched the ending. But anyways, the part on mine. That's what we're gonna talk about for the time being. So we started off the race. We've now like gotten in the fifth episode. We got to one of the pit stops, I believe. It's been a couple days since I watched the show. We got to the pit
Yeah.
stop. We meet a new character called Richard.
Mhm.
Or Kasama meets a new character called Richard. Immediately, this guy is not a good person.
Yeah.
He's got a scar. I'm pretty sure he's got overhauled voice actor. Like-
He's got a scar.
I mean, if a character has a scar on their face, chances are they're going to be antagonists at some point, or just a villain completely. Let's be real here,
I
Nick. This is
mean,
an anime.
You're probably right, but it just sounds very discriminatory.
The only character with a scar on his face that's a cool character or wasn't a complete villain was Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. I can't think of any other
I
one.
thought you were gonna say Scar from The Lion King, and I was gonna be like, we're gonna have to have words after this.
No,
You
Scar
think
is a shit
was
a
good
villain.
guy.
Scar tries to rape someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, we're gonna have words.
Scar
after
the
this. I
Lion.
think
Scar the Lion
was the
specifically.
good guy.
Scar
Yeah.
the guy from Full Metal Alchemist. He's a cool dude.
Okay.
Anyways, the Scar driver shows up, gives some advice to Kasame about where Hodoto is, because Hodoto gets kind of kidnapped. Well, he goes to fight the Guild gang, and then gets put in the box.
Yeah.
So Kusama goes and tries to like help him out.
Yeah. But Hodoto busts himself out, and they meet in the fog,
And
like
then they
in the mist.
start the race because this is something that we're getting more into, which is Apare's character arc, which is to not be such a little dick to everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And care about people.
Do you feel like you're connecting with him, Brandon?
No, I fucking hate these types of characters.
As he slowly learns how to be a human being and not a robot.
It's a little heavy-handed, but I mean, it's a character arc.
Very heavy-handed.
It's a character arc. So he waits for them.
It's also not even super executed well, because it's really just Apare suffers in silence as Kusame looks at him like a doting father. He's like, you're learning. But like they never actually talk about it or like explore why Apare is an asshole. It's just he is that way and he's learning to not be on his own with like very little outside, or not very little outside influence, but like we should get like a good insight to it. So his whole like learning to be a human being like just sort of feels like we're not actually
Kinda
a part
tacked
of it.
on?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way of putting it. Tacked on.
It does, because like at least for Hodoto, I know Jeffrey didn't like his story, but at least that one kind of you understand. For Pare, it's just he's a caricature of like those very brainy scientist characters, kind of like how we first thought what's his face was Senku, but Senku has the charisma and like the funness to back it up. Apare is just kind of bland. He's just a caricature. He's just the caricature.
He absolutely is.
And now he's going through the actual other caricature, which is he learns to care about people, and that's about it. Not the best character, but you know, it could be worse.
Well, he does the whole like, but caring isn't logical, and you're like, okay, Dr. Spock, let's calm down.
Yeah. There's better ways to execute it. One of those is Mr. Robot. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Mr. Robot. I love that show.
We're here to talk about Wrath of Khan instead.
Khan!
Where Spock learns to be a human being and learns and sacrifices it himself to save Kirk. But anyways, Wrath of Khan aside, and Mr. Robot aside, what?
No, that was in the new Wrath. Sorry, real quick,
Yes,
that was in the remake.
That was new Wrath.
Yeah, okay. I was getting them confused. But more about Paramon.
Old Wrath, I think Kirk dies.
Yeah, no. Old Wrath, Spock dies, and Kirk says, Khan. New one, Kirk, did he do a little flippy flop? Where
that's
Kirk
what it was,
dies.
yeah. Kirk dies in the new one, and Spock is
angry,
enraged.
And then they have and then Khan and Spock fisticuffs up on a fucking like train, like it's a western.
Yeah. But that's not a western. This is a western, though.
Yeah, there's actually more so in the latest episode we watched. Very western, very influenced by both western and samurai movies.
Yes.
But anyways, we'll get to it in a second. We also find out that Gil is going to they're going through a canyon.
Blow up the canyon.
So that he basically gets a massive head start.
Yeah.
But like not head start, but lead. Hototo finds this out, tells Kusame, and what's his face all say, okay, we're gonna go help after Apare says, oh, we don't have to help. It's illogical. It'll be contrary to what we should do.
Yeah.
I am a Spock type character. So they end up helping them out as
they sacrifice their car to make it in time to tell people. Okay, so during the scene, there was some weirdness, right?
How
like
so?
Was I the only one? So I swear to God, watching it, there was a scene where you see Gil blow up the canyon and like run through the barricade and like knock everybody out of the way.
Yeah, that was his plan.
Then,
that was the plan in visualization form.
Oh, that was the plan in okay.
Yes.
I did not understand. I didn't grasp that at all. Like it was just a visualization. I thought it was happening, and like you saw them bust through the thing and then blow up the bridge or like the rock overhang, and then like we cut back in time and saw it like happen again. Essentially.
Yeah, it was a little
so
confusing.
Confused.
Because I was confused at the start. It took me about a minute to figure out, oh, that was just, what they're trying to do.
I legit thought they just fucked up and they like left a scene in out of place.
They just accidentally like put it in there and then forgot to take it out when they decided not to do the flash forward.
Yeah, I was so fucking confused watching it.
But anyways, that happens. The 2003. One of them, the black dude stays and he's just chilling in the car while the other ones are trying to get rid of the blockade that Gil had run through. And the other white dude, Batman, it goes and like shoots a guy or
Yeah,
shoots his
stops them from
yeah, signaling the other guys
the
who are
signal.
gonna drop the rocks.
Because they got to
That
do it in time, so they drop the rocks to prevent everybody from getting through.
yeah, and that
But
allows them
because
to go forward.
yeah, because there's no signal, the rocks don't come down in time, so everybody else makes it through. But Apare in his now slow car, because he sacrificed the engine to get there in time and to help everybody and save them, his car is now trapped behind all the rocks.
No, it's not trapped behind the rocks. They
Well,
actually
it's
get
not trapped
through.
behind the rocks. He gets into the middle of all the falling rocks, but then like he sees the Matrix and fucking wiggles his car through, so he makes it.
I kind of like those scenes where you like see all like the equations. It's very hammy, but it
Yeah,
was cute. I liked it.
watching them do the like when they were coming up on the train
Yeah, they do
and
that. That's the first time they do it.
they do one with Apare, but watching fucking Gil and TJ, or not Gil and TJ, but TJ and Batman, I can't remember his actual name.
Yeah.
Watching them do like they're like doing the drag race to beat the train, it was very much like a rip off of the last scene of Fast and the Furious where they do the exact same thing. That movie ends with Paul Walker and Vin Diesel's characters having a quarter-mile drag race, and like there's a train coming, and they do that same thing where they're just flooring it, like trying to beat the train. They do like the jump over the tracks right as the train comes by, and like it clips one of the cars. It was essentially the same scene.
So what you're
But
saying is, Batman and TJ best friends,
yes, absolutely, going to become best friends. Fact.
which happens. It kind of happens in this episode, the sixth episode, or seventh episode, where they're both riding around the canyon because now they can't go through, and TJ's playing music, and the white dude's like,
They're
"Stop
trying-
playing music so loud! Stop
They're just
singing!
trying to, yeah,
Stop
trying
having
to have a
fun!"
conversation. You stop singing. Okay, then you sing. Fuck you.
But yeah, so at this point in the story, Apare's car is completely broken down, and then Shaolin and the other guy,
Leo.
Leon, okay, Leon, come back to help him out, and Apare once again is like, "This is illogical. I don't know why you're doing this." And they're like, "But we're friends. We're gonna help." And they're like, "All right, fuck it, fine." And they kind of just chill out. They camp out next to like a little river. Hodoto gets some fish. Lion goes and does some hunting because he has a gun, I guess. And Jawline is just making a fire. Kasami makes a joke, which doesn't come off very good or well, about Apare being fucking useless. Which kind of does get into Apare's head because he does try and go help all the characters, and Kasami wasn't wrong. He kind of is fucking useless.
Yeah.
Can't start a
I mean,
fire, can't catch fish.
The most useful thing he did was the hunting thing where he set up traps, but it wasn't like they weren't doing that kind of hunting. Like his traps probably would have worked. They just weren't doing trap hunting, they were doing gun hunting.
I mean, his traps may have worked, but then, he walked into it.
Yeah, that I mean, he got spooked into it because Al shot the gun right in his ears.
Oh, yeah, tinnitus.
I mean,
it's a cruel mistress.
Yeah. So I give Apara the benefit of the doubt on that one. That one could have worked had he had an extra like 2 hours for a trap to go off. Probably not the most effective thing when you want to eat dinner right away, but still, I think the trap would have worked.
Okay.
The whole potato when he was fishing, on the other hand, probably not the best decision.
I wonder if a fish would eat potato.
Probably not a whole potato.
I know that me and my father used to use cornbread, not flour, meal, yeah, cornbread meal dough to catch a carp and catfish.
You could probably, yeah, I was gonna say you could probably get a catfish if you like cut a potato in like a quarter potato.
Because catfish will literally eat anything.
Yeah, you could probably get because they're big kind of animals. Because that's really what I was thinking about, like a whole potato. Like potatoes are kind of big-ish, and fish are not that big. Like most fish aren't that big, I would say. So, but I feel like you could probably catch a catfish with like a quarter potato.
But anyways, at the end of the episode, they finally make it to the next pit stop, where they find out that Hoto is now like really going after Gil and his brother. And then I don't know if it's the end of this episode or the start of the next episode, but we find out Gil isn't actually Gil. He's just some dude.
Yeah, at the end of episode 7, we find out that the man who we thought was Gil was actually just the younger brother to the other dude, which really, actually, as you think back on it, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because he never talks, never does anything.
Yeah, he never talks, never does anything, and like for being Gil, member of the 1003, like super fucking badass murderer dude, like when they were doing the whole competition for pole position, Gil didn't really get involved in any way, and the other dude was just arm wrestling people. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a super badass thing to do.
Yeah, while TJ and Batman were fucking guncodding it up in the fucking roof.
Yeah. So you really, like, as you think back on it, it kind of actually makes sense. Like, they never really did anything super amazingly bad.
Hold on, I have a question though that I just realized.
Uh-huh.
TJ and Batman. I was gonna call him White Man.
Okay, yeah.
Batman.
Go ahead.
They know who Gil is, don't they?
I thought so too. Um, maybe they don't. So I don't remember how they explained like what the 1003 was anymore.
Wasn't
But
it
I
like
feel
it's
like
only
they were
three
a
guys
gang.
got rid of 1,000 people or some shit?
I thought it was like there was a whole bunch of bad dudes, and they were like the only three that made like survive. Like they were the last three outlaws essentially.
Okay.
But I thought they were like individuals. Like each of them. At first, I thought they were a gang, but now like the fact that they didn't immediately Gil or Batman and TJ didn't immediately look at Gil and be like, "You're not that dude." Maybe they didn't know each other. Maybe they were just three separate outlaws.
But TJ and Batman know each other.
I mean, maybe they just didn't
No,
really hang out
Richard?
with Gil.
Oh, fun fact: Richard's Gil,
Oh, yeah, Richard's Gil.
which we
Uh,
guessed from a mile away.
Yeah, literally episode 8. If episode 6 with like he runs them off the road and then pretends to apologize wasn't obvious enough. Episode 8 starts with there was an attack by Gil's men and only one man survived. Wonder why he survived? Maybe because he's Gil.
And then he tells the crew, "Hey, go." Fucking hairs my mouth. Hey, go to this one town. You'll find Gil there. Fun fact: it's his fucking town.
Yeah. So if it wasn't blindingly obvious, once we know that who we thought was Gil is not Gil, Richard is Gil. We would have predicted it and would have been right, but of course, the episode where it becomes blindingly obvious is the episode that they also show it to you.
They just show, yeah.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we get basically just Western. The episode.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite episodes. I actually really liked it. It's very centered on Kasame and like kind of his character arc, where we find out. I think leading up to this episode, we see a flashback of his mom getting slashed by some samurai dude, and it keeps replaying throughout the episode. His crew gets taken by Gil's gang because they're in basically a town that's just ruled by Gil's gang. And then he's kind of has this moment with this bar lady who tells him, "Hey, grow up." I forget what exactly she says, but tells him like, "Yeah, you'll be fine. You're gonna be a man and do whatever you do." And then he finally
She basically
decides,
points out like you were a kid and like you couldn't have stopped
okay, that's
anything
what it
back
was.
then. So like all you can do is change the
what you can do
present.
now.
Yeah.
And he decides to finally use his samurai swords and confront the gang. While the crew is getting basically put on nooses.
Yeah.
And then
Hanging at dawn.
Yep. And we get a very, and when I say Western, I mean, very Western, very inspired by Western movies, where we get, the dust being picked up by the wind as we slowly start to see Kasame coming into the frame. That's also very, 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 very reminiscent of one scene from Seven Samurai, where something similar happens. Because I can talk about this, because Western movies, Westerns, like Western cowboy movies and samurai movies, had this kind of feedback loop in the 1940s to the 1960s, where they would kept on influencing each other. So back when the Westerns first came out in 1920s, mostly a lot of famous ones produced by they had John Wayne, but it was God, who's the director of Stagecoach? I forgot, but the director of Stagecoach made a bunch of great Western movies, and then Kurosawa over in Japan got really influenced by them, and all of his samurai movies and all other samurai movies by some other directors really take inspiration from the way Stagecoach and the other Western movies in the East look like, or the West look like. And then these samurai movies got ported over to America, where the new generation of Western directors took those samurai movies and kind of took some of their tropes and used them in Westerns again. So Seven Samurai kind of got recontextualized in an Alamo-style movie called, it wasn't The Hateful Eight, that one was one by Tarantino, it was The Superior Seven? Hold on, Western
The director you were looking for was John Ford.
John Ford. Yeah. John Wayne, John Ford, whatever. That Magnificent Seven in the 1970s, which is almost very similar to Samurai 7. You even have the inspiration coming into like stuff like Star Wars, where that was very influenced by samurai movies as well, even westerns. By what's his face's own mission, George Lucas. So there's this cool, really feedback loop that happened. It kind of raised the level of both movies, or both styles of movies, as they matured. And you see that in this episode of Paranorman.
All I could think watching this episode of Paranorman was as he like comes out of the the dust and only has the sword and the other dudes have guns. Just the scene from Deadpool 2 where he tries to like cut through all the bullets and it ends and he just goes, "Wow, those bullets are super fast." It's got like 5 bullet holes in them. Yeah.
There was a Mythbuster episode where they did show that you can cut a bullet in half.
Really?
Yeah. Whether or not you can actually
have the reaction time to cut a bullet in half.
If someone shoots a gun at your sword, it will get split in half. Like if you somehow manage to hit the bullet with the sword, it will split in half.
And will it divert the bullet enough to like not just get hit in 2 parts of your face?
I don't know. Chances are, instead of having 1 bullet hole, you'll just have 2 smaller ones.
Yeah.
In different parts of your body.
That's more what I'm afraid of. But regardless, because this is anime and he has a sword and they have guns, he of course dodges all of the bullets, cuts them all to pieces, and then at the very end slices a bullet in half, and kills a whole bunch of dudes, basically.
Yep. Well, they do mention it in this episode that he's predicting where they'll shoot. He's not really dodging the bullets.
Yeah.
But still,
I mean, still.
Very hard to do. I like
essentially dodging the bullets.
Yeah, I like how the ultimate move of the one Gil imposter was to kind of slightly like shake his gun around so like Kasama can't predict where the gun's gonna go or where the bullet's gonna go. Anyways, Kasama kills them, and now they're ready to start their race again. And at the very end, we find out that Richard is Gil.
Yeah.
For real this time.
So, and we know that the people who have hired Gil, now that we know who actual Gil is, want the race to be not ruined, but like
they kind of want to do something about it. They want to rig it in some way.
Like they don't want to get canceled, but they want, I guess, Richard to win.
So there's a conspiracy going on.
Yeah.
As I predicted.
I don't think anybody was shocked about the appearance of the conspiracy.
Yeah, it was very. It's kind of the only way for this story to go.
Yeah.
How are you liking the episode so far? Or not so far, but like, how'd you like these block of episodes together?
I mean, I enjoyed them. They were all good episodes. I like how they're doing like the race updates on the side, where you get to like the leaderboard of like what place people are in.
I thought that was like my computer, my computer UI doing something until I realized that was just the show.
Yeah, people's names. So I kind of like that because it makes it like the race part of the race actually does feel important because then you like actually get to see like what place everyone's in.
Yeah.
I mean, as we predicted, there's less racing and more getting out of the car and doing things. But I mean, it makes sense because if it was just a show about them sitting in cars and racing each other all the time, it would be real fucking boring.
Also, for like the racing parts, like the cars don't look bad, but like if you're gonna watch them a lot, then they should be a lot nicer looking.
Yeah. Because I mean, they are CG heavy cars,
and they like move a little wonky sometimes.
Yeah. So the fact that we're not staring at them all the time, I guess it makes sense that they're CG because they're not the important thing.
Because aside from that, like the character art looks really sharp. It just works. It's nice. It doesn't look weird. Nothing ever looks awkward and fucking funky. So it's like not a bad looking show by any means.
Absolutely
I'd say above average. All the shows I think are above average in terms of like.
No, I disagree.
I think they're all above average.
Disagree.
In terms of how like they never really look off model. But that's basically all I have to say about Paranorman. Like we just gotta wait to see what's going on with the race. see how Rich is gonna try to fuck it up. See what the rest of the characters are gonna do. Like, what the fuck is fake Guilt gonna do now? I guess they're gonna like kind of join the team because they didn't really seem to be bad guys. They're just kind of dudes in a weird car.
I mean, they're still probably going to be like not great dudes, I assume. Like if they suddenly became good dudes, it'd be weird.
I think there's gonna be this show's version of Dick Dastardly and Mutt.
I'd be okay with that. They might get more like up in arms when actual Gil shows up because they had their whole like we don't kill women and children, and I'm assuming Gil is more like I just kill every fucking buddy.
I'm here to fuck things up.
I'm here to kill people and chew bubblegum, and bubblegum hasn't been invented yet.
I think it has.
Maybe.
Bubblegum is super old.
Yeah, I guess.
Like the shredded shit?
Yeah.
I think they've been eating that since fucking forever.
That's probably true.
But anyways, that's par.
Now we're gonna do one of the other shows. Which one comes second? Decadence, okay.
It's alphabetical.
That makes sense.
Decadence. We have the arc of poop.
Yeah. We clean up shit.
As we kind of guessed, they didn't kill off Kasaragi. He gets, like, imprisoned into this, like, poop chute.
Yep.
Where he's just scoop up poop.
Well, he gets imprisoned at the bottom of the poop chute.
Yeah.
There's the poop chute that deposits into, like, the poop refinery.
Reservoir. The refinery, where they're refining their own food.
Which, okay, I've got to say, just in terms of, like, how they've designed this thing, they've got these, like, giant poop chute holes in the ceiling, and then the people have to, like, chop up the poop and put it into, like, the grindy thing. Why doesn't the poop chute just deposit the poop directly into the grindy thing? It's a gigantic fucking hole in the middle of the room.
It's not about that, Nick. It's about torturing the bugs.
I mean, I get it, but still, like, just at a fundamental level of the design, you look at it and you're like, this design sucks.
The design doesn't suck if you're trying to like torture your fucking bugs.
I mean, but you just have different torture, though.
I don't know. This is what they decided. For what they decided, the design's not weird, in my opinion. The design makes sense. I'm pretty sure some of the poop makes it straight to the to the little like grinder thing. Which, by the way,
I accept that it makes sense for their design. I still think the design is fundamentally wrong.
Something that I do agree would be fundamentally wrong is that fucking grinder. Because, like, it doesn't grind anything.
Oh, yeah, it's way too fucking... Like, the gaps in between things are way too big. There is no grinding that actually happens in that thing.
It's just, like, fucking logs with spikes on it.
Yeah, it just delays the poop from getting into the poop water at the bottom.
Also, they should be caked in shit, by the way.
Oh, absolutely,
unless someone's, like, cleaning it up. But anyways, the guy, Dio... I know him as Dio because that's his voice actor. I don't remember. Oh wait, Ruin? Is it Ruin his name?
Or which one?
The rectangle dude.
The rectangle dude.
The guy with the big nose and the glasses, like the announcer from God of High School. The guy that killed Kasaragi. Killed quotes.
Oh, the game administrator. I don't think they have a name. I think it's just Hugin. That's his name.
That's what it was. Hugin says, "Okay, we will not kill you. Instead, you will go to this prison where you scoop up poop and shit." And there, Kasaragi meets a variety of fun little characters as well as his old crew. The big ass purple guy, Donatello, the skeevy looking cockroach, who
I think his name is Turk.
I think they call him Turkey or Turk. He reminds me of the purple chameleon guy from Monsters Inc.
Yes, from Monsters Inc.
Yep.
As you said it, that is absolutely correct. That is who that dude is.
He
even has like the multiple arms. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, by the way, he's voiced by the narrator from Kaguya.
Oh, really?
Yep. We've got Jill, right? Jill, the girl with the colorful girl.
Mm-hmm.
As well as another new character who's just in there. His name is Sark, the hobo-looking guy,
drunk bum
who makes jinkum.
Yeah.
If you don't know what jinkum is, it's fermented pee and poop. Right? That's what jinkum is.
I believe so.
And he's just making the robot equivalent of that, which is the little Oxyon, fermented with some poop.
Yeah.
And everyone fucking loves it. and he makes it inside his body.
Yeah.
But Kasaragi's, kind of stuck there, wondering what to do. He's kind of given up. But as he's meeting with his new friends, he slowly starts to kind of pick himself up because he really wants to help out. Oh my god, Natsume. And he finally decides that he needs to find a way to get back to Decadence. Luckily, they have like a little illegal booth in the prison, but he has to fight Donatello to get to it.
Yep.
So Donatello and him fight. It's a fight to the death on top of the grinders.
With shovels.
With shovels. But because they're friends, they don't actually kill each other. They get close to it because they both fall into the poop. But this is where something that I didn't think would actually pay off at all actually pays off. Is the little jetpacks on Kasaragi actually work?
Yeah.
So he just lifts them up.
There was an interesting moment just at the start of that fight, which I think tied into the ending of the fight, which is when he uses jetpacks. As he's walking into the arena, they have a low shot from behind where his jetpacks are very clearly in view to like remind you that they exist.
Yeah, it's a very good way to do it. This show has pretty good direction. That's the statement. This show has good direction.
Yeah. It was well set up in like a way that was not super ostentatious, because it was also just like a low shot going into like an arena is also just a classic like gladiator type shot. So it didn't seem out of place or like inappropriate, but it was also setting up just to like kind of remind you like he also has this jetpack on his back.
Set up and payoff. You fucking love to see it.
Yep.
Finally, Donatello, just because Donatello loves to fight and really admires, or he sees Kasaragi as a friend, they finally decide that they will allow him to go and use Decadence. His old avatar is kind of locked up in the storage room, so he has to use a new one. As well as it's bad if he tries to use an old avatar as well, as Jill explains to him.
If he would log in as his old one, people would realize what's going on.
Yeah. So immediately, well, not immediately, but he gets his new character, and then he goes over to Decadence, where we switch perspectives and go to Natsume and what she's doing, which is just kind of chilling, if I recall, because we don't get the...
Well, we see it starts with we switch over at episode 7, and we see that, like, things have started again, and like the Gadol are attacking again, and there's a giant hole in the side of the machine, the Decadence. So we see that like shit's not great back at home.
Yeah, the Gadols come in as the first event of the game, and they kill a lot of people. Natsume and the crew, or Natsume at least, first decides that we should, they all decide together that they should try to fix it, but they don't know if they can because they don't have the resources. Natsume says, how about we go ask everyone to pitch in, and the power is kind of like, that might not work. So Natsume just tries anyways, and she goes to talk to the butcher and the butcher manager and tries to convince him. He kind of leaves unconvinced. He's like, lady, we'll do what we do. You do what you do. Go away.
We do things our way here.
Yep. And then she comes across her friend, and they have a little heart where her friend's like, I wish you hadn't changed. I wish you'd, stayed safe with me. And then kind of just close the door behind her.
Yeah.
We also have purple hair up in the roof, just watching.
But that's relatively unimportant, because again, nothing ever happens with that.
Yeah, we don't... So this show has shown that it does like to set something up and then pay it off, so it could pay off later.
Maybe.
But as far as we know right now, it hasn't paid off yet. She just was kind of there.
The purple hair stuff really feels like a very distant aside.
Yeah, she just...
Like, it sets up and pays off, like, the Gadol stuff and the Kaburagi, like, mystery thing kind of, pretty well. And, like, there's a lot it does well. There is also some stuff that it is really not super good about. And one of this is this whole purple hair bullying whatever storyline. It just sort of exists and nothing ever happens, and it does not feel important in any way, shape, or form.
So then Natsume kind of leaves a little dejected. Before this, actually, we do see that she and the other dude, Kasaragi's new avatar, kind of interact a little bit, and they kind of like talk to each other. Natsume doesn't really pick up on who it is immediately, even though Pipe freaks the fuck out because Kasaragi's back. She doesn't really connect the dots there.
But she definitely sees like shades of Kaburagi in this dude.
Yeah, she even has this little like kind of not flashback, but fantasy moment where she's kind of envisioning the new avatar as Kasaragi as he's playing with Pipe. Do they drink the milk? Is this when the milk scene happens?
Yes.
I almost gagged. Something about
I mean,
milk in that little sack just
the
did,
leather pouch.
and also the fact that they're sharing the milk made me kind of like, ugh. It made me queasy.
you
Oh god, it's
have more. You were more affected than milk than I am.
it's coming back to me. Oh,
Well, I
god.
don't enjoy milk. I'm not gonna like puke because someone else drinks it.
I'm not puking. I'm just feeling a little queasy.
I mean, still, that's too far.
They they'll do a little talking. Natsume cries, and Kasaragi decides that he's gonna burn it all down. Everything.
They made my girl mad.
Yep.
Time to burn it to the ground.
Then in episode 8, Natsume finds out that people actually want to help her out, and they start rebuilding the wall. And Kasaragi and the crew decide that they're gonna have to. They need Kasaragi's old body back because it no longer has the chip that will kill him if he tries to enter the Gadol factory safe zone.
Yeah. Because there's like a force field surrounding it, so if anything comes in, it would like log them off or kill them. But he can get in because he's not a real person anymore.
Not that he's a real person, but that she doesn't have the chip anymore because it got removed.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I mean, which basically makes him not a real person.
Which
The same thing with Natsume. She doesn't
Yeah.
have the chip because she's not a real person, as we found out.
She's not real. What do you mean she's not real?
The system doesn't understand that she's a real person.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. All right. I thought you meant like she was created or something.
No, but the system like doesn't acknowledge her as a living human being.
Yeah.
She is a bug or an error in the system. Really does not fully explain in episode 8 why he couldn't just log in as himself.
Well, because
Because they
it was
did the
stuck in
whole like you
storage.
can't. I mean, but that wasn't their explanation. Their explanation was if you log in as yourself, they'll know. It wasn't that you'll be stuck in storage. They didn't know that. They just
Did
said
they
if
not
you
know
log in
that?
as
So
yourself,
then how did they know
no,
to go to the storage?
because they talk to.
Oh,
he
right.
talks to
What's
what's his
his face
name,
tells
and he's
him.
like, "You saved me, didn't you?" And the dude was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I think they even say like he like basically says like, "What'd you do with my body?" And they don't say anything, but he figures out like, "Oh, you must be holding on to it."
I guess Jill just does something because we see that she's like a crazy hacker type person.
Hmm.
So she must have done something on the console when they were trying to get the body back.
I mean, but you never like they never mention that. They never say
Yeah.
why he couldn't try and log in as himself. But yeah, so they have an Ocean's 11 style heist where they have to like break into the fucking storage container holding area, and they have to like figure out where they're going, and they ride on the doors again like it's Monsters Inc. And eventually like Hugin shows up because he also figures out like there's some
Something's
sus shit
fucking-
happening. And the commander of the Decadence accessed the storage facility and is storing something there, and I want to see what's inside of it. And so like it's a race against time, and as Hugin tries to figure out what's going on, and Turkey does some sus shit and like breaks Sark's neck. But
Well, he
again,
breaks Sark's neck to make sure that Sark doesn't fuck it up, so they don't get caught.
Yeah, but then he has like that ominous smile as he's like, took care of that problem. I mean, that could just be Turkey smiling weird because he's a weird dude, as he like didn't get caught.
Yeah, but we do know
it
in fact that
felt
later
very-
on there is something going on with Turkey where he is
Yeah.
trying to do some shit.
And this scene it definitely felt like he was doing something not great in that moment. But eventually Kaburagi makes it like just in the nick of time, so he gets his body back and shoves in like a pleasure blaster. So when it shows up, Hugin looks at it and he's like, just do it in your own time, and then walks away. So they have safely recovered Kaburagi's body and made sure that Hugin didn't find it and destroy it.
And they're gonna start the plan to Kaburagi then uses his actual body to go into Decadence and
Oh right, they just skip right to that. That's what happens.
look for Natsume and the other girl. I forgot.
The other girl.
Kurenai.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Kurenai beat the shit out of him because they think he's a pervert trying to stalk
Yeah.
some girls. But that's where the episode ends. They're like, "Oh, hey, Kubaragi."
Well, no, because then he
they
goes back
they go to the
to
apartment.
yeah, they go back to the Gadol factory too, because he has to talk to the commander dude.
Oh no! Oh shit! You're right. Sorry. Oh god.
Yeah.
Um.
Because the commander dude has like realized what went on, so they go back to when Kaburagi logs out. The commander dude shows up in the underground poop factory, and they have a conversation about like, are you gonna be like my ally and help me destroy the Gadol factory?
Yes.
And like, the commander is very defeated as he's like, nothing will ever change. You can't do this.
Commander's gonna
And
die.
sort of, no, I don't think so. Well, maybe.
The way I
The
see
commander's
it,
going to like have one of those like last minute change of hearts.
he's gonna have a last minute change of heart, but I feel like that will end with him dying.
Maybe. I'm hoping it ends with him showing up and like fucking giga punching the Gadol factory with Decadence.
Oh my god, it could happen. They do love that Giga Punch.
He really loves that giga punch, if I remember correctly. He was all
Oh,
about it.
something we haven't talked about. We now for a fact know that Gaddles are manufactured.
Oh yeah,
Not really manufactured, but like
they're
farmed.
created
They're
in
created, yeah.
they injected some sort of like weird cell organism thing into like a pipe, and then we saw a Gadol like pop out the other side.
yeah, in like the brooding lake.
Yeah. So they are created or manufactured or whatever in some way.
And I know
Basically
that they even
grown.
mentioned that they're like maybe somewhat developed, like they're like designed
Hmm.
by some of the engineers. Also, apparently, some of the engineers like to drink shit alcohol because the little homeless dude has like a rapport with the guards because he gives them the shit alcohol. And that's what's going on with Turk. So Turk is trying to use the homeless dude Sark to do something. Turk is like he's pro system despite the fact that the system has screwed him over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's pro system. He may just be pro himself. And so he sees this as like, if I turn them in,
Yeah,
they'll let me go free.
that's probably a better way to put it. So I wonder what's gonna happen. He's gonna die,
Probably.
or maybe it's a double bluff, and Turk is actually trying to do something. Actually, no. I think he
I
says.
don't think so.
I think he says he's gonna double cross Donatello
Yeah.
and Jill and Kubaragi.
And he wants to turn them in and be a hero. So I fully expect him to, if anybody's going to die, it's going to be him.
Oh, Turk. I think Sark is gonna be a good guy at the end, but he's also gonna die.
I don't know if he will die. Cowards usually make it, I feel like.
Okay.
He'll be hiding in some corner and pop out at the end.
He's gonna throw alcohol shit at someone.
That one might happen.
Just you watch.
Or he'll use it from his fucking little faucet in his chest to like create like a slick floor and somebody will slip.
Yeah. I do like how the show designs like the gear versions of the robot characters, and they like kind of transfer over some of the design characteristics, like the sharp nose if the character has that, like the big jaw if the character has like Sark in his human model and his robot model,
Mm.
or Jill and her eyes or her eye turned into eyes.
It
I like it. It's very cool.
is.
Um. Oh, fucking god! I lost my train. Lost my train.
Okay.
Lost my choo-choo train.
I. It's not a bad show, but like,
I don't think any of these shows are bad, but
disagree.
I don't think any of these shows are bad. But like, I don't love any of them. Like I did something like fucking god, what's it called? Wait, Listen to Me, or Fruits Basket, or any other shows that we liked.
Hmm.
Like I think they're all okay shows. I just don't love
Yeah.
them.
It's just there's just so much like going on. It's getting better now that like we're getting to the end, and so like more and more stuff is being revealed, and like we understand more and more. But like going through episodes 6 and 7, there's just so much shit going on in the show that like keeping track of the whole like there's the robot people and there's the decadence thing, and like why are we doing this, like why is the decadence game a real thing that really exists and we're manufacturing these gaddles, do all this stuff, why, like why is this real? There's a lot of stuff in this show that it just sort of doesn't get explained, and it's not taking away from my enjoyment of the show, but like at the same time, if I feel like if I think too hard about like the plot of this show, there's some pretty significant holes in like plot holes in this show.
Like what?
Like, why is this happening at all? Why is decadence a thing? Full stop.
Is that a plot hole or just like something that
I
just
mean,
isn't
I would say it's a
explained?
plot hole. Until they explain it, as it stands right now, it just feels like a plot hole. Because we've seen that they are manufacturing these gaddles to create them for this game, but the game doesn't serve any clear purpose for the real world, like the world that all the people live in, unless it's to create Oxyon. But if they're creating the gaddles, then they own the mechanism to create the Oxyon, so they could just harvest the Oxyon right there. So why have the game at all? So why would we create the gaddles unless we want to destroy the planet? But why do we want to destroy the planet? Because the planet was already destroyed. Like, if you think too hard about it, it just doesn't add up.
I
And
mean,
maybe they will explain it in 2 or 3 episodes and it'll make sense. But until then, as it stands right now, the whole existence of the Decadence game just doesn't feel right if you think about it too hard.
the way I just see it is just that it's entertainment for them, for the little robots.
But why?
I don't know.
Why does it have to
I
be
don't know
real?
yet.
Why can't it just be an online game? Why can't it be a fictional game? Why does it have to be a real thing?
That I don't know yet. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a fundamental issue there that they haven't explained or touched on in any way, which is like, why did this whole thing get created? That is an important thing to answer, I feel like. Because otherwise, this show is sort of just like, we created this problem and didn't ever explain why we created this problem.
Okay, I can see that. Um, I feel like that is something that's gonna be told to us later on. I have faith that it'll explain it.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't. Would you say it would be better had they explained it earlier?
I mean, I would have liked it if they explained it earlier, because then I would be able to understand like more about why this is going on, and I'd like appreciate,
The
why we're creating the
conflict.
gaddles and the factory at all. Because as it stands, like, we're gonna go blow up the gaddle factory, but like, why does the gaddle factory exist? Like, who is running the gaddle factory, and why are they running the gaddle factory?
I would like to see the way I see them kind of like fixing it without telling us what's going on, like really going on, would be if the robots didn't know, because from what it seems like, it's the robots seem to know about the factory and stuff.
Mm,
So if they didn't know, like if this was hidden from them, it would make it easier to like understand why we haven't been told why this is the way it is.
right.
Because even the robots don't know, so we kind of like we're stuck in the same kind of headspace as the little robots. So
Yeah.
Kubaragi is like uncovering this conspiracy rather than this is a thing that was happening, so, but now I don't like it anymore because I adopted this girl.
Right. If that were the case, and it was something that we didn't like, they didn't know, and so we
Yeah,
we didn't know, I could appreciate it more.
as we're
But they
uncovering the
do know
mystery.
about it.
Yeah, which I'm not sure like if that's the right choice to do is to have them know about it until we get
Yeah.
to see like what's going on. Because if they're surprised about what's going on, that'll be a little weird. Because then like
Yeah.
just have them not know what's going on from the very beginning, and that kind of fixes these issues where we're trying to figure out why this is happening. Like the characters know why this is happening, or the robots know why this is happening, but we don't, and it causes like a little kind of a weird situation.
Mm.
Um, we didn't get a lot of action shots these past 3 episodes. Actually, no, that's not true. In the 6th episode, we had the little fight on the beams, which I thought looked pretty nice. Um, we had the really quick one where the Gattle a hole opens, and then kind of a more thriller-ish type episode in the 8th episode where they're trying to ride the doors, not the doors,
Yeah.
but the storage units,
The storage pod things.
a la Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Were all fun episodes, I thought.
They're pretty good. Like I said, as we get more into the weeds of this show, there's so much story that I feel like we don't know, that I want to know, that I just want to know it. Like, I just want to know why things are happening. Why is this all happening? Tell me why,
No,
but they're
Nick,
not.
show me.
I just want to know, Brandon. I don't care how they tell it to me. I don't care if they tell it to me or show it to me or what, but I just want to know.
I'd
That's all
be
I
I'd be
want.
pretty pissed off if like in the next episode there's just 5 minutes of narration where we just get told what's going on.
I mean, it would be irritating, but at least then I would know. If it made the show better in the long run for knowing, I would accept being told in a shitty way. Like if they had a 5 minute, it's just an info dump scene, but it made the rest of the show better. I'd be like, you know what, necessary evils.
We'll see what happens with this episode. We've got 5 left, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know if it's 12 or 13 episodes. It's 12, so we've got 4 episodes left.
4 episodes.
4 episodes for this. 4 episodes. What else are we watching?
The other one, Empire Ramon or God of High School.
I don't see God of High School on the list.
Oh, interesting.
What the fuck? Oh, there it is. It's 13.
Okay.
Apararanman.
Don't know why I have the songs
Doesn't
stuck
say.
in my head.
Anyways, that was Decadence. On to God of High School. Where's my pen?
Who knows? Not there with you. Couldn't answer that question if I tried.
So in God of High School, we find out that there is 2 kind of big factions in the world: the devil dude, and then Bible Black people called
Nox.
Nox, and they're both trying to find the key, and the key is one of the Tiger Cubs, and the Tiger Cubs are maybe one of the participants in the God of High School
Yes.
tournament. And we find this out throughout the 3 episodes we watched. We see that they're really obsessed with Jin's grandfather,
Yep.
who is now locked in some cellar somewhere with one arm.
Yep.
All 3 characters kind of get some mentors along the way. Jin gets the old dude. What's his face? Dai.
Daewee.
I don't think they pronounce it we. I keep whenever I hear Dai or Day, but I don't know how to
Right.
pronounce Korean names,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna say Day. Day gets the Joker slice dude, and then possibly also the demon dude. I don't know.
Maybe.
And then what's her name? What's her face? Sakura
Yu.
Light. Yumira. Mira.
Yep.
Or more. Yumira
Mm-hmm.
gets glasses dude, who then immediately dies.
Yeah. He teaches her how to do like one thing and then dies immediately.
More like how to like feel the power, I guess, was going on with it. Like how to like, use her power. And then he gets beat up. I think the green haired guy. Or was it Q? I don't remember.
Oh, Q, I think.
Q? Okay, Q, and then O is the black one, right? The one with
Possibly.
white hair? Alright.
Yeah, maybe?
I know P is the girl. I will never forget P. So
The secretary lady?
the secretary lady, yes.
Okay.
Q is not very happy about this, and then pitches a fit, and fights some of the Nox people. One of them is like this guy who can like kind of, I don't know, bring himself together.
Well,
That's his power.
Q doesn't pitch a fit, first of all. They break into his house to kill him.
Oh, I'm sorry. The pitching a fit comes later.
Yeah.
They break into his house to kill him, but he kind of just gets up and beats the shit out of the first guy, and then 2 more people are. Oh god, there's so much. Characters kept popping up in this scene for some reason.
Yep.
So first it's the crazy dude and Q. They're fighting. O shows up and blocks a knife, and then 2 guys from Nox come in who are like the higher generals, and they have this massive 2v2 fight where a dragon shows up.
Yep. So that's O's thing.
That's O's. The other guy has a jester. One of the generals of Nox can just have wings. Is his power, I guess?
Yeah, basically.
Wings and a sword. He's an angel, I guess.
Yeah, he has Durandal.
And my favorite of the episode, the girl who just brings out a cross and then just starts blasting motherfuckers because it's also a submachine gun.
Oh, it's also laser beam.
Oh my god, it was a laser. So it was a laser beam that like has little whack-a-moles pop up that shoot beams.
Yeah, they shoot mini beams that like Did you see the fucking curvature on those beams? Because they shot the beams, but because there were like 4 of them down the shaft of the
Yeah, it
cross. I
just
don't know
like
how else to call
loops
it.
around.
Yeah, they looped up and around and then like joined back up with the central beam. It looks super fucking weird.
And also, she cusses a lot, but they beeped out the cussing for some reason.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, I'm gonna shove your balls down your throat and shit down your neck and shit.
God, I fucking
Um,
loved her. She was fucking hilarious.
yeah, that was a thing that happened.
And then they get the shit pushed in.
Yeah,
And then they run away with their tails
like
between
all
their
the
legs.
way inside.
Then they run away.
Yeah,
After this, O confronts Demon Guy.
I think they very possibly leave the other dude behind. I think those two just piece out and leave the other dude to die.
I mean, he's the fucking grunt. Who gives a shit about him?
Yeah,
It's not like he's the general.
fuck that dude.
O gets really mad at the Devil Guy because the Devil Guy knew that they were gonna go and kill the announcer.
Wrong one. Q gets mad.
Oh, god damn it. This is where you should have better character names than
Yep.
letters. Q gets mad at Devil Guy. And Devil Guy just pushes him into the wall because he's got the fucking Buddha power.
Yeah.
And then Devil Guy like knew about it, but couldn't really. His
And
hands
he
are kind
actually
of tied.
saved the family because that was part of the thing. Was like you let that dude's family die, but he was like, "Lol jokes." I actually saved the family, and
Fuck
we just
you.
let delusions die.
Also, 3 months rent bit or 3 months pay, bitch. That's gone from your
Yeah.
salary.
So now he's up to like 9 months or something.
Yeah, 9 months, and he's just getting fucking yen out of the bottom of vending machines.
Yeah.
This is when Dai comes across him and says, "Hey, I want to be stronger," because that's his character arc. Is I want to be stronger.
If you teach me, I'll feed you.
Yeah, and the other character arc for Jin is I want to be stronger.
Yep.
At the very least, Mori has her own character arc, which is I'm gonna make everyone learn about my power or my sword technique. That's at least a little bit different.
This is why this show is not good.
I think this show is fucking fun as fuck.
This show fucking sucks.
But
This show is the epitome of a 5 out of 10 I will forget about it in a month show. Everything about the show is fucking mediocre at best.
I don't think I'll forget the show. I think
Large amounts of the last 3 episodes were not good.
I think all the fighting was really fun.
False.
The characters are very. I think the characters are likable. At least all the side characters.
Ooh, hard disagree.
They're all kind of interesting. They all have different designs.
That is true.
I think the music usually does a good job at matching what's going on, which is at least the very least of what you could ask for a show. And I don't think the show looks bad. Like there's nothing that ever looks really off.
Disagree.
And all like the powers look kind of cool. But anyways, what's going on with the main trio is they're now a team, which my guess about the other two kind of having stuff off the side of the tournament is now not right because they're a team fighting other teams. Who all
We should have been able to predict because there were 3 of them, so obviously they were going to introduce some new rule. The new rule is teams of 3.
yes, because in the show the reasoning behind this is that in the show, Devil Guy finds out that there's probably more people that have this special power, and people who have
Not more people that have the special power, more people that could be the key.
could be the key, and I guess it's also connected to the power. They're like tiger cubs who know
Yeah,
about
they have promise.
the Char Biak.
Well, I don't think they have the char whatever thing because Jin Mori doesn't and Day doesn't at first.
Oh, so here's
I
the
don't
thing.
think, at
It's
least.
because our main characters can't have it because they have to be the underdogs.
But Devil Dude calls both of them tiger cubs.
They probably have potential to use it, but like don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think the tiger cub is they have potential
Yeah.
to use it, not they definitely have it already.
They have the potential, and the part of it is like their little watches kind of measure how much power you have from it. But anyways, the reason they can't use it yet is because they have to be the underdog. They have to learn how to use it in the show itself. They can't just start off with it. But our villains can because they're villains and they can just start off really fucking strong. Like the guy who can just eat people with his anglerfish
Well,
stand.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean it's a shark. It's very clearly a shark.
it
I
is
don't
a
think
shark.
they're gonna fight that dude.
No, maybe.
Because I think other dude is gonna fight that dude. I think not Itachi is gonna fight that dude. Who realistically I should not call him not Itachi because he's actually a decent looking dude. He was happy and was smiling and said words, therefore he could not be Itachi.
Right. What was his power?
So
Was it
he's
fire?
smart and yeah,
It
did
was
like the
fire.
fire ring to get rid of the other dude's power.
Yeah, his is like something fire.
So he may also have like cancel powers power.
Maybe it could have just been a show of strength. Like here, I can set your stand on fire, sort of thing.
Maybe.
I don't think he has like cancel things. Then again,
I mean,
I
we
don't.
haven't really seen him break it out other than that one scene where he only did it one time to cancel the
Yeah,
dude's power. So we don't know if it was he has power over fire, which realistically, when the other dude has like, I can summon a shark and eat you, just having fire seems like you really got the short
yeah.
end of that stick.
Also, the shark can shoot its teeth.
Yeah, he doesn't just have a shark. He can deploy individual teeth to like shank a motherfucker from distance.
At this point, I think we can say that these characters have stands and like they're like weird monster shit.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
almost all the ones we've seen, we saw a dragon, we saw a jester, and then we also saw Buddha, and then we saw the shark.
Yeah.
So I wonder what, and I guess we'll see what the other characters have.
And what's this dude came out fucking with like the 10-ton mega hammer?
Oh my god. Yeah, even he just has the Charbiak. Which,
So I mean, we're fully into like some JoJo shit,
Which-
basically.
yeah, it doesn't. That hammer doesn't really work because you can just punch it and it gets destroyed.
Yeah, well, maybe Day now has like anti-char, like the ability to fight back with his punches ability.
But here's the weird thing, like, so something we saw, like the character, we saw Dai like using his like punches and powers, or not powers, but like his punches and shit. But he sets a motherfucker on fire with Suzaku. How is that not Charbiak? Or how is that not Charbiak?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
There's like an inconsistency with the way they depict some of the powers, where they wanted everything to look really cool, but now we don't know what is what anymore.
Yeah,
So maybe he's using Char, but we don't know. Who knows? But we have a fight at the beginning where it's main trio versus other people. Because Jin is a complete doofus, he tries using his little like pressure point power that he learned from this other guy, and then he knocks himself out. So it's up to Mori and Dai to win the fight, which they do because they're the main trio. We also see another fight, which is our other kind of rival type character, the person you called not Itachi, Fire Guy, and they're the team of kicking people in the chin, and that's how they win. Because they do it twice, and that's how they win.
yeah.
We also see
One of them even breaks out the Rock Lee like hand plant chin kick.
yeah. Oh yeah, the lady. She's fucking shredded, dude.
She was fucking jacked.
And then after that, we see the really bad rival guy, the guy with the light blue hair and the little antennas, just destroy a team.
Yeah. He basically eats a dude alive.
He eats a dude alive. He's now being poked by the acupuncture guy and is in critical condition, I believe.
It definitely, yeah. There was the flat line at the end of that episode, and it did not look good for that dude.
There's a flatline?
Yeah, there
Oh,
was
I remember that.
there was like a doot 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 doot, and then as the episode ended, it went a doot.
Well, okay. Well, that one company's son is dead, presumably.
Possibly. I don't know if that was a real flat line or just like a ambiance
yeah.
flat line.
It was just a joke flatline.
Yeah.
But because that team's getting beat up so bad, Dai comes in to stop the fight, as Jin did earlier in the show. So Dai gets suspended. So now it's just a group of two with Mori and Jin. So basically, I guess the thing is that they have to win every fight now.
I assume so. And the other team only has to win one.
Right. And then the third episode, we get the backstory of Jin's, part of the backstory of Jin's grandfather and how he affected some other people, a la Toru's mom. Like the main, not Itachi rival. So they've kind of have this friendly sort of banter going on, and it kind of ends with the trio kind of together, in kind of like a very mean looky type of situation. And then we get a monologue from Devil Guy about how he's looking for the key and how the key is going to bring about the end of the world. If they die, I don't remember. Nox is trying to get the key to kill them, right?
I think.
I think that's what it is. I think I remember hearing that they want to kill the key, Um, and the devil guy wants to find the key to use him. But right now I don't know why, and I think it has something to do with the end of the world. Very very God shit. Basically, the key can unlock God. I think is what it is.
I think so.
Whatever God is.
Because God Hand wanted the key to unlock, like, to become equal to the power of the
Ah, that's
god.
what it was. He wants to become
Whatever.
God, and Nox wants to stop them from doing that. They want to keep God
Yeah,
sacred.
yeah.
That's what it is.
So
And
presumably they're going to kill the key if they find it to like prevent anybody from becoming
yeah.
God.
Fun fact: the key is the main character.
Yeah, probably.
Almost certainly.
I think at one point during that whole wedding thing, they implied that it might have been you as well, but it's probably the main character.
Because she's a tiger cub. Because they're all tiger cubs, so they might be the key. Any of them could be the key.
Right, yeah. They
But
also implied that it had something to do with her katana.
yes. Yeah, how the katana could unlock the key. But the katana is just a wooden sword.
Yeah.
So they got the wrong thing. I still think that the sword, I'm using quotes here, is her style of fighting. The guy was an idiot and didn't understand the metaphor.
I
Uh,
mean, you're probably going to be right in the long term, but it's upsetting.
but that is God of High School. So far. Uh, I really like the fights. I think they're fun. I know you don't like them at all.
Yeah. So these episodes, can I complain about the episodes now, or
I mean,
do
if you
more
want.
recap? Okay, I do want these episodes. The amount of things that our main characters actually did on these episodes can be counted on one hand, because so much of these last three episodes were just things other than our main characters happening. And what really annoyed me about these three episodes is that it became very obviously clear that, like, more and more the plot is happening,
Around.
like, not in spite of, but yeah, around our main characters, or like not involving them in any way, shape, or form. Like, there's this whole like Nox fighting the tournament organizers thing. Does not involve our characters in any way, shape, or form so far. We've seen no measurable effect on their lives. Like, nothing is really happening. The only thing is now Jin's grandfather has been kidnapped and Jin is going to get involved. And like, even then, I still sort of believe that that's going to somehow just end up involving the tournament organizers or the doctor dude that we saw that he got trained by, less than it's going to involve Jin himself learning and doing anything. So, like, it's just, as a show, having your main characters do so little and contribute so little to the actual plot of the show, I just don't like it.
I
Like,
think the way they could fix this is if the rivals were part of Nox.
yeah. There was one group of, like, when they were doing like these are all the groups.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was one group
The
of
Nox
all
group?
dudes in black robes. Yeah, the Nox group. Oh my god! If those dudes are not part of the cult, I'll be kind of upset because they look like they should be part of the cult.
So I actually think that the rival, the non-Itachi rival, is part of Nox because he seems a little too friendly right now. But I feel like if we knew that earlier, it would fix some of the issues you had with the show, which is that right now the Nox stuff and the tournament organizer stuff is happening around our characters, and they have to at least be involved in it like almost right away.
Yeah,
They were very involved in it in the kind of the marriage little story, but then we haven't really seen them interact with them at all so far.
yeah. And now we have this whole, like, we have the rest of the tournament going on, but like with all the Nox stuff, and like that's the stuff that feels like it's going to be important. Who gives a fuck about the tournament?
Evidently,
Like,
the God Hand dude.
as more and more of the Nox stuff goes on, I feel like the odds that we finish the tournament become closer and closer to zero.
Remember, Nick, if there's ever a tournament in any show, it's never gonna finish.
I mean, I know, but this show
Yeah.
was set up as it's just a tournament arc, and now it's not gonna be the tournament arc anymore. And like, if we're gonna do the tournament arc, we have to do the tournament arc. If we're not gonna do the tournament arc, our characters have to get involved in the not the tournament arc shit. Like, Naruto didn't have 15 episodes of setting up all of like what fucking Orochimaru was doing to like ruin the tournament. It just did the tournament up until the tournament got crashed, and then Naruto did the not tournament shit. Like, there was no 19 episodes of filler and like setup for it. We just went straight from tournament to other shit with our main characters involved the whole way through. And like that's what I want. I don't want to like see all of this other crap. Like tell me about it. Tell me about like, oh yeah, Jin got captured and like all the other shit that's going on and like bad shit's going on. That dude died and like I don't need to fucking see all this shit. You can just tell me about it. I want to see our main characters do some fighting. I want to see the tournament get ruined and I want to see our main characters do some like fighting the Nox shit or like becoming the key and getting god powers.
How,
Like I don't need to see all this other shit.
as another like idea, how would you like it if during the Nox stuff that we don't see our main characters at all? Like whatever they're doing kind of happens off screen, and they kind of get roped into it. Like maybe they're incapacitated for some reason, and they get roped into it towards the end, as a kind of like a shift in perspective towards the other group for a bit.
Like we do Nox stuff, but like the people involved in the Nox stuff are not our main characters at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd fucking hate that.
Okay.
Our main characters need to be the main characters. If the main characters are going to be the tournament organizers, it should have just been the tournament organizers from the beginning. Our main characters are Jin Mori, Yumira, and Day, whatever the fuck his name is.
Let's stay.
Like, yeah, those need to be the main characters. I don't want to see the fucking tournament organizers do like fucking limit or release bullshit and fucking have like 3 episode long amazing fights when they're not our fucking main characters. Like if they want to like show up and be like, it's gonna be, you know, Jin Mori teamed up with Jester Scythe to like do like a 2v2 fight and they like work together, I'm okay with that. Like that's Jin Mori working together with one of them to do something as a main character. I'm fine with that. I don't want to see just Jester Scythe fight like 5 dudes. I don't fucking care about Jester Scythe. Like he's cool, his power is awesome. Don't give a shit about him as a character. He's not a main character. He's a supporting character. He should be a supporting character and support the main characters as they do shit. So I don't know. And like we did tournament arc shit in whatever it was the last episode I think where we fought fucking Thorhammer and his 2 friends.
Yeah.
And that was like
We fought Thorhammer, and there was like the way they edited it is where we're getting some of that fighting, and then we cut into the organizer fighting, and it's kind of like gets kind of we cut between the 2 fights.
yeah.
We do that more.
I think the organizer fighting for we also get to see like the dude's backstory. It's like, you know, he was like, oh, I used to go to high school, but then I dropped out and did a whole bunch of other stuff. But I wanted to go back to high school, and I failed the test a whole bunch of times, but I never gave up, and I kept trying because like I want to do something. Like I've got a goal and all this other stuff. And like that's classic anime tournament arc stuff. Is like, you know, you humanize the other side. Is like you get to see like how they, you know, they have their own goals and their own motivations. Like that's some classic anime like sports tournament arc shit. And like that was sort of what I expected. All of this other Nox stuff that we're actually doing, it's like, why are we wasting time doing the tournament arc stuff if we're not gonna fucking finish the tournament arc shit?
I see. I think the reason is because the Nox stuff is going to become more important later on.
I mean,
I'm
but
not
like,
saying
why
that. I'm not
waste
saying.
time?
Yeah, I'm not saying that makes it better. I'm saying that's why they're doing it in this way. I
Yeah.
can't talk to the I can't speak to the source material, but I'm guessing they had like tournament stuff, and then every like couple of chapters you have Nox stuff, and then tournament arc stuff, and then Nox stuff for like 1 or 2 chapters.
Yeah.
But because of the adaptation, we have to condense the Nox stuff and the tournament into like side by side, going on happening at the same time.
But I feel like if you want to do Nox stuff, then we're going to focus on Nox stuff, and we shouldn't spend as much time doing tournament arc stuff. Because like doing the whole like this is this dude's backstory and like it's super touching and he has this whole goal, that's like only shit I care about if we're actually going to finish the fucking tournament arc. Like if we're never going to get to the end of the tournament, who gives a fuck about that dude's backstory? He's just some rando that we met along the way to not finishing the tournament arc and instead going to fight Nox. Like it doesn't matter. Just do like a 5-minute montage of like we fought this dude and I punched the Thor's hammer and it blew up and then we won. Boom, done. Let's go back to the Nox shit and crank that shit out so we can get to the part where our main character actually does shit. It annoys me. I fucking hate I hate the, you know, way they're presenting the Nox shit. But if we're gonna do the Nox shit, we just gotta focus on the Nox shit. We gotta like cut some of this tournament arc stuff down. We could do the major fights where like, you know, not Itachi fights blue hair shark guy. Like that's, you know, like there's some story, you know, stuff going on there and they have a backstory and some of those characters are probably gonna be important. One of them is probably going to be a Nox guy, like you said, and one of them's probably gonna team up with our main characters. That fight feels important. We can spend some time doing that fight. All of these other fights, I don't care as much. Not Itachi fighting fucking dude with the stop sign tattooed on his tongue. Who gives a shit? Give me the 2-minute condensed version. He wins. Move on.
It was 2 minutes though.
Was it 2 minutes?
It was very short.
I mean, it still felt too long.
He takes off his shirt. He does like this weird thing where he kind of like walks forward a bit, like steps forward, and then kind of like fisticuffs for like a minute or two, and then he wins.
I mean, I got the point when fucking dude broke out the Bart Simpson windmill arms as he beat the dude in submission. I got the point.
That was fucking goofy, dude.
It was so fucking weird.
He was just like slapping his face. I was like, what the fuck?
He was doing the Bart Simpson windmill arms where he just spins his arms in a circle. It looked so bizarre.
Yeah, that was a weird fighting style. I don't know what they called it.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But they said it was some like ancient fighting style that like nobody practices anymore, and I can understand why.
Because I'd be laughing. I'd be getting my ass kicked, but I'd laugh.
Yeah.
I think that should just ended with like a couple of hits to the face, and then just kick to the jaw, and then you're done.
Yeah.
But even though you don't like the Nox stuff, I actually really like it. I like this culty shit that's going on. It's very interesting and it's fun for me. I care less about the tournament because whatever. I want this Nox shit to go down. I want to see.
I don't mind
generals.
the Nox stuff. I just want to do the Nox stuff with our main characters. I don't care about the Nox stuff as it pertains to like the tournament organizers getting involved in it.
Right.
Because as it stands, it's just tournament organizers versus Nox. I don't give a shit. I care about Nox versus our main characters. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for our main characters getting stronger, getting god powers, and being badass. Like, that's what I want to see. I don't care about all this other shit.
Okay.
Get to the point.
For me, the organizer stuff reminds me of some of the generals from Bleach. Also, like, there's this whole... we didn't talk about it, but there's, like, the six, and they're doing the thing where there's, like, the numbered people.
Yeah.
So at some point, we're gonna see what the fuck they're going on about. Super shonen shit, but...
Yes.
It fucking hits me right there, it hits me. It's super tropey, but goddamn, I can't fucking not fall in love with it. Which I think they only said 5 people.
So there was the doctor.
The doctor, there was the girl.
There was the girl.
There was
Tiger the
Cub.
bum.
The bum? Oh.
Yeah, there was the bum, who's the vagrant. Or the wanderer, I think is what they called him.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be for a second I thought it was gonna be like tarot cards.
Yeah, so did I. There was Tiger Cub, who was God Hand. There was the magician, who is the dad of the dude who gets eaten.
Oh, that's why it's important. There we go. Okay, I didn't connect the two.
Who's the other one? Who am I forgetting?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the 6th one is Jin's grandfather. So that's why I didn't say. And this guy over here, and that's why he's very important to Nox. You know what it is, Nick?
The vagrant.
Nick.
The lady, what? The magician.
Jin is a Jinchuriki. And his grandfather, who's also, by the way, voiced by Jiraiya, implanted the key into Jin when he was born.
Implanted the key into him?
Yes. Or to just make it more like Naruto, Jin's mother had the key. His grandfather took the key away from her and put it into Jin. All while there was his dad's pupil came about and killed both of them because he was pissed off that his girlfriend died. If I'm right about this.
I mean, you're not.
I'm not.
It's just
way
not.
too complex, and it's way too much like Naruto.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Anyways, I think Jiraiya might be the other guy. Might be the 6th guy.
I swear to God, I remembered who it was. Like, I was thinking of 5, and then, like, I couldn't remember who the 6th one was, and you said the girl, and that was the one I wasn't thinking of. I was like, oh, perfect. I know who they all are. And then I forgot who the other person was.
Okay, the magician.
I swear I remembered it.
The doctor, the vagrant, the girl. I don't know the other 2.
the Doctor, the Vagrant, the Magician, the Girl. Um, fuck, I should now remember the fifth one because we literally just went over this.
I think I confused us with
the Tiger Cub, the
Tiger,
Buddha Hand.
Tiger Cub. Oh my god, God Hand. Who's the sixth one?
Who is the sixth one? Feel like they showed it to us.
Because like either I'm super wrong about Jiraiya being the sixth one, or I'm right.
I mean, you might be right. He is super strong, so I feel like it would not be a surprise if he was the sixth one.
Yeah. Anyways, that aside, we'll figure it out later. That was God of High School.
Yeah.
Nick is not a fan.
No.
I love it.
Very mediocre.
I don't
We'll
love it.
forget
Actually,
about it in a month.
I did say this earlier, but I don't love it. I just like it. It's fun.
It is not. It is a bad show.
A bad show can still be fun.
Nope. It's just a bad show.
Not
a fun show. Just a bad show.
And that's our episodes for the week, or for the last 3 weeks. So Nick, what would you like to sell out to today?
So
Fuck.
I was going to sell out to the Milwaukee Bucks, but I've now changed. I'm going to sell it instead to the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers, because after yesterday, August 26th, the Milwaukee Bucks led a protest against the city or the police department of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Wisconsin as a whole, as to do with the shootings of or the shooting of. Oh, I only remember his last name is Blake. I don't remember what the
Wasn't it James?
man's first name was, but
I think it was James Blake.
I think it was. But because of that shooting and the sustained violence against black people in the history of America, they led a protest, and it ended up with playoff games being canceled on the 26th and the 27th, which is very commendable. But today there was a vote and a meeting held by players to basically decide if they were going to play out the rest of the playoffs. And the only two teams to vote in favor of not playing the playoffs were the Los Angeles Lakers and Los Angeles Clippers. So I want to give my shout out to those two teams and the players on those two teams for really standing up for what they believe in and putting their money and their careers on the line for, inciting change. So I really respect their, what they tried to do and the decision they wanted to make. Even if it wasn't the one that the league as a whole was going with, I respect them for making that decision. So I want to give my shout out to them.
Well, in the less serious, god damn it, I hate my fucking salad now. In a less serious, I did say I would sell out to sci-fi this entire time, so I will continue to do so. And I'm just gonna sell out to The Expanse, a book I've started to read. It is a show on I think it's an Amazon exclusive show. But it's a space opera story that gets apparently wilder and wilder. There's like the God particle shows up and starts turning people into black holes and shit. So I'm excited to go to learn what the hell's going on with that. But as of right now, I am at a part in the story where there's now a war between the asteroid belt and Mars, because of a unfortunate series of events where a captain thought he was doing a good deed by trying to figure out who caused their ship to get exploded, and then said, "Hey, I think it was the fucking Martians." Martians didn't like that, so now they're gonna go fight people. There we go. Expanse is a cool book. I fucking love it.
All right.
Yeah.
So those are our sellouts for this week. Welcome back to ABC. It's been 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
We're happy that you're not here.
Maybe more if I don't.
Still not joining us. And yeah, probably will be more because Brandon takes forever to edit ABC for some reason. But yeah, it's been good to have you. It's been good to not have you here, and we're sorry that Jeffrey couldn't make it.
His computer's dead.
Self-destructed, or just regular melted down because apparently he left it on for like 5 days.
I mean, it feels on. Anyways, yeah. Shout out to my boy Jeffrey's computer. Rest in peace. I built it with my own 2 hands, and Jeffrey broke it.